As the Black Panther discussion turns towards awards season, it seems that now more than ever, there are people popping up who don't get the Black Panther phenomenon. Why is the film so important? Well, that's because superheroes of color are usually sidekicks to this day, and that includes in the MCU. Iron Man has War Machine, Captain America has Falcon, and sure enough, Captain Marvel is getting, this is an important distinction, Monica Rambeau, who has had many codenames over the years, including Captain Marvel. Yes, well, Carol Danvers was still going by Ms. Marvel, which was actually very progressive at the time when the only choices were Miss or Mrs. Monica Rambeau, though, took the name Captain Marvel first, herself joining the Avengers as their first African-American female member. And Monica eventually led the team just as Carol has. In fact, and this is going to be a contentious point to some of you, but I feel it needs to be pointed out. Besides having both gone by the name Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau and Carol Danvers have little history together in the comics. Monica wasn't even introduced in Carol's adventures, and she has mostly appeared in Avengers comics. And while she has been on many teams, Monica, over the years, none really with Carol. Side note, by the way, I was personally introduced to the character with Next Wave, a fabulous comic by Warren Ellis with amazing art by Stuart Immonen, who sadly seems to have disappeared from the comic book scene these days. But it's a really fantastic run. It's, I think, only like 12 issues, and I've been a Monica Rambeau fan ever since. And I don't think the character has ever been as well depicted since that run. I mean, they've tried to put her on some other teams, but it just really hasn't, unfortunately, worked out. But Kevin Feige, following his very successful MCU formula, is laying the groundwork for Monica Rambeau in the upcoming Captain Marvel movie to, again, be one of those sidekicks. I don't know why you guys keep letting him get away with this stuff. I mean, it seems so backwards considering what they just accomplished with Black Panther. And especially for a character like Monica Rambeau, who's never been Carol's sidekick. All right, so anyway, Lashana Lynch will be playing Carol Danvers' longtime fellow Air Force pilot, Maria Rambeau. By the way, I love that Lashana Lynch, in her interview recently with Entertainment Weekly, said that she not only followed around female Air Force pilots for research, but asked to be paired with ones that were single mothers. I think that's really nice, and I'm excited. I hope we see those nuances in the actual film, not just like, I was thinking it, even if it didn't come across on screen. So, she's a single mother to daughter, you guessed it, Monica. And the reason Monica is just a kid here is because the movie, again, as we all know, takes place in the 1990s. So when Carol Danvers returns to Earth for Avengers 4 in the current time period, she'll have a Peggy Carter, Sharon Carter type situation. Hopefully, it'll turn out better for the Rambeaus than it did the Carters, who really got the short end of the MCU stick, especially considering how pivotal they are in the Captain America comics. Now, Maria Rambeau's call sign, as you can clearly intentionally see, is Photon, one of the code names Monica has used in the comics and likely will in the MCU to honor her mother. That's pretty nice, actually. Pulsar and Spectrum are some of the other names that Monica has had, and to me, Photon is not only the coolest, but the most powerful sounding choice. I like Photon. That's a cool name. She doesn't sound like a sidekick. All right. Monica Rambeau is very powerful. In the comics, after being exposed to extra-dimensional energies, right? New Orleans native Monica, does she know Princess Tiana? Cue the fan art. I'm only half kidding. I think that would be a fantastic. I can see that instantly taking shape if they make it clear that she's from New Orleans. It's a great idea. A Princess and the Frog, such an underrated movie. But anyway, Monica can turn herself into any form of energy on the electromagnetic spectrum. It's super sciencey and super complicated, and we know that Feige doesn't like complicated. So expect Photon's powers in the MCU to be simplified to being a being of light. Basically, like a lighter energy version of DC's Livewire, which is an awesome idea and beats DC to the live action punch once again on the big screen. Livewire, of course, has debuted on the small screen. So annoying. All right, so when you're watching the Captain Marvel movie, keep an eye on the Rambeaus and look for an event which at least starts the process of little Monica eventually growing up to be a superhero herself. Don't be a sidekick, Monica. All right, so are you excited to eventually see an adult, fully powered Monica Rambeau in the MCU, even if she is Carol Danvers the sidekick. I mean, in the wake of Black Panther, is it still helpful for the MCU to be following this formula? It's a tough question, because what's the alternative? We don't get Monica Rambeau. She's a great character, and she's also visually very cool. But maybe it would have been nice to see her introduced in another MCU movie, like an Avengers movie, considering that's where she spent most of her time in the comics. And while it might seem that Lashana Lynch just missed the role of a lifetime playing Monica's mother rather than Monica herself, well, I'm happy to report you'll be seeing her soon as another iconic comic book character, Agent 355, in FX's Y: The Last Man series. That is an amazing role. I hope that it works out for her. I hope that that show does that comic justice. A fabulous, fabulous story. So share your thoughts about this down below. I'm very curious to hear them. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos, including more Captain Marvel coverage right now.